I'm Ian, and I work for the Federal Reserve, the central bank of the United States.
Oh, hey,
The Federal
Ian.
Reserve System consists of three main
How you
entities that perform key functions that serve the public and promote the health of our economy and the stability of our financial system. These key entities are the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, 12 Federal Reserve banks operating around our nation, and the Federal Open Market Committee. Based in Washington, D.C., the Board of Governors is the governing body of the Federal Reserve System. It's an agency of the federal government that reports to and is directly accountable to Congress. The board consists of 7 members, or governors, who are nominated by the President of the United States and confirmed by the Senate. Governors are appointed for 14-year terms. The Board of Governors oversees and sets policy direction for the system, including 12 Federal Reserve banks located around the country, which take the pulse of the nation's economic health from a regional perspective.
Jumping up on the mic.
The 12 reserve banks represent different geographic regions, or districts,
Let's see what
and were
happens.
set up based on regional economic considerations. Although supervised by the Federal Reserve Board, the reserve banks operate independently in many respects.
What are we thinking? What are we thinking?
The reserve
25 or
banks carry
50?
out a
25 or
number
50?
of
25
core
or 50?
system functions, such as supervising and examining commercial banks and other financial institutions, enforcing compliance with federal consumer protection and fair lending laws, while promoting local community development
Here we
and
go.
lending to
Volatility.
depository institutions to ensure crucial liquidity in the financial system. They and the board also play a key role in another primary Fed function, fostering the safety and efficiency of our nation's payment systems,
1 minute.
including distributing currency and coin to banks, operating electronic payment systems, and clearing our checks. In addition, the reserve banks act as the government's bank, providing services such as maintaining the Treasury Department's transaction account and issuing and redeeming U.S. government securities. They also act as a bank for banks by providing
30
key
seconds.
financial services to banks,
We doing
thrifts,
50
and credit unions.
or
The reserve banks
25?
also provide a wealth of information
50 or 25?
on conditions across the
What
nation.
are we doing?
Information that is vital to formulating a
think?
national monetary policy that helps maintain a healthy U.S. economy and a stable financial system. The board and the reserve banks together
25.
help ensure that consumer and community voices are heard at the central bank through consumer-focused outreach,
25.
research, and analysis.
How we doing, guys?
This helps
Welcome
keep
back.
the Federal
Let's
Reserve's
see what
actions,
happens
policies,
here
and
in
decision-making
3
attuned
seconds.
to what's going on in American
This is
households,
Bitcoin. We got
communities,
NASDAQ on the
and
left here,
businesses,
and we're
which are the
dumping, and
foundation
we're
of our
ripping.
economy. The third key Fed entity is the Federal Open Market
I'm
Committee,
going to take
or
off this because
FOMC,
Jerome doesn't really
which brings
speak
together
for a minute, so I'm going to leave that up. But here we go. I honestly think everything's priced in. Remember, fade the first move. Fade the first move, right? First move. There's the first move for you. There's your Bitcoin move. Let me pull up the NQ as well for those that are on the other side. I'm going to do 3 this way. And then let's just apply his entire chart. 50-50. There's Bitcoin cranking. And then we're going to do the NQ below. Cranking. Remember, fade the first move. Let's see what happens. Oh, you guys don't really see much on that stream. Here's Bitcoin ripping right now. NQ's below. I'm going to bring this down here. There you go. NQ ripping 19,834 right now. Current update. Let's see here. Wow. So interest rate decision actually 5 versus 550. Previous estimate was 5.25. So it looks like they cut by 50. Is that right? 50. Yep. 50 basis points, gentlemen. Let's go. Guys, right now, go on to the LuxAlgo Twitter and repost this and favorite it. Right there you go. 50 basis points. Wow. That's huge, actually. Interesting. I would figure they'd do a 0.25 cut, but there it is. Ripping to 50. Hey, Dimensions, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in, brother. But there you go. We'll see the king himself on the mic here in about 30 minutes, but we had the first initial decision of 50. Yeah, so you usually see a first big push and then usually a redirect from that level. Usually a redirect from the first initial move. Let's get our music on here before he comes on. But 50 basis points. Interesting. Everybody was predicting 25, and 50 will do, I guess. We will take the 50. Watch the first initial move here. This is Bitcoin. Let me fix the canvas here. don't know why this is like this, but there you go. NASDAQ completely ripped through. I was going to look at the 1 hour now. On the NASDAQ specifically, there was these order blocks on the 1 hour right here. Boom. I was watching potentially for a move right to 20K. There we go. Let's see if I forgot we had that gap up. But we're holding off nicely. On the daily here, we got some decent moves. Yeah, 20K could be pretty good. It's not far off. 164 points today already. But again, remember, we always talk about fading that first move. Bitcoin, I've been wanting to get into this high volume range here. Yesterday, we closed really nice on Bitcoin. But so far, we're just ripping. We'll see if we can pull back or not. But again, if you're just now tuning in, go to the LuxAlgo Twitter or X and like and repost this. Breaking Fed cuts are 50 basis points versus 0.25, which is interesting. 11-1 in favor of 50. Wow. Only Bowman. Interesting. Yeah. Watch this, man. Watch what could happen. Already up here. Let's look at the 1 minute. There you go. 1 minute first initial push. So far, pullback. Again, usually you might see it come right back down to VWAP. Usually pretty crazy. There it is. What we say? Literally just said it. Just make always fade the first move. It's usually pretty normal. ES, did ES fully? No, ES is still similar to the NASDAQ. Buy or sell, neither. Just watch. Have fun with watching. Let me get rid of the reversal zones for now because this is news. Crazy first initial move. 25 points. You're just now joining us. I might as well throw that up as well. Or sorry, 50. Sorry, 50 basis points. That's my bad. 50 basis points. And there you go. We're experiencing the max pain. There you go. I was going to say, see if we could. Okay. NASDAQ down here, Bitcoin above. If you're on mobile. Then we have the NASDAQ daily. I wanted to see what that was doing. I want to see NASDAQ 1 hour here. I want to see those 1 hour blocks. Oh, look at this. Wait, why isn't? Yeah, there it is. There's that reject. Look at the 1 hour order block. If you guys again are following, why isn't this loading the data? Why is it only loading on this chart? Weird. All right, here's the 1 hour zone I was watching. And if you look at this. Look at this today. This was the chart I posted earlier today on the NASDAQ. Up to 19,862 to 19,920. Potentially also retesting 19,600, right? I mean, we retested 19,600 today, and we're right back to 19,920. I mean, come on, guys. It can't be that easy. I gotta post this. I gotta repost this. This is insane. Oh, I did the wrong directional move, but either way. That's awesome. Up, down, yeah. I gotta post this. Either way, we tested both sides. Amazing. Again, this morning, all we were saying is look for excuse me, Jacob. All we were saying this morning, look for a reject 19,840 to 19,900. Look for a bounce 19,600, 19,530. Again, all you do is look for those. Doesn't matter which direction it goes first. Guess what happened? Price dumped down, touched 19,600, bounced off what? A 1 hour order block. Again, Jacob, indicators don't work. Okay, well then you're using them wrong. But that being said, bounced right off the 19,600 previous low, previous liquidity swing as well. Literally rips off of that right back up to this high. And guess what? Now we're getting a fade back from that as well. I mean, come on, man. You got the reversal zone and the 1 hour order block overlap right there. That's one of my favorite overall setups there. But holy moly, the high. High 19,900. Low was 19,609. Wait a second. No, sorry. 19,583. 19,589. I mean, my goodness. We literally, this peak high and this peak low posted this morning at 8:21 a.m. 10 minutes before open. You can't get better than that. And there you go. You always fade the first move, my friends. And Bitcoin already back down to VWAP. We just said it here about 5 minutes ago. I don't know what you're doing, but hopefully is 50 good for Bitcoin. Again, guys, we're at all-time highs. Except for Bitcoin. Sorry. For Bitcoin, either way, it's going to affect both markets pretty much the exact same. I wouldn't really worry about it. What happened to mine? There we go. We're gonna see Mr. Powell come up here in a minute. Just want to make sure. There we go. I don't know where that went. I mean, my goodness, dude. Like, what? Craziness. Where'd it? Hello? There it is. Do I need to make this smaller for you guys? Oh, almost. I gotta figure out how I positioned this last time. Like this? Oh, was it one of these guys? Or one of these guys? Okay, it was more so. There it is. Oh, I think I had it like max. There we go. Is that better? Yeah, it was like a full screen almost. Yeah, there we go. Excuse me. He's gonna be on about 30 minutes, but again, always fade the first move. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong fading the first move. Can't go wrong, brother. We don't really need much of his face, to be honest. That works. As long as we can see him a little bit, we'll be good. Man, overall though, very, very nice. Again, wicking off of the high. I mean, that was money. This is what we talked about. We had a squeeze on the reversal zones on both sides of the NASDAQ this morning, right? We were squeezing in this nice tight range. Had the majority volume sitting right there at 19,680. 1 hour order block above, 1 hour order block below. Again, very, very large liquidity levels as well. So again, rejecting and bouncing beautifully. Had the same exact. We had that happen today. This low to that high, insane. Bitcoin bouncing off VWAP. That's nice. Very nice little bounce so far. I'm going to move this over here, though, so I can look on Twitter, see what's going on. Again, 50 basis points if you haven't heard already. If you haven't heard already, 50 basis points cut. A lot were projecting 25, so that was pretty good. With the 50, but we had the 50, so there's your 50 there. Again, if you want to see what's updated on the FOMC statement, you can go check it out as well. We threaded it in this post. But we will take it. Bitcoin coming back down. The U.S. coming back down. Let's look at gold here. How'd gold react? Usually gold has a bigger single move. Yep, upside. Coming back down now. Ooh, bullish divergence. Crazy moves. Yo, what's up, Isaac? How you doing, man? What's up, Isaac? Also 1 minute. So gold 1 hour. Wonder what happened. Reject. Back in that OB. Back in that OB. Okay. Will it reject it? That's the question. 15 minute here on not the treasury, but let's look back to gold. 15 minute on gold. Trying to take out these highs, man. All of these highs trying to get rejected. That literally almost rejected the exact. Wait, did that hit an all-time high on that single push there? It did. Gold at an all-time high on that single push. Again, guys, the amount, I'm pretty sure there's a 95% win rate on fading the first move. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm pretty sure. Let me go look. I saw our boy Knots post something. It's usually insane, guys. I'm not even going to lie. Let me see. He posted something earlier. Yeah, here, look. 94% past 36 FOMCs. You always fade that first move, is it? Let's see. He said it somewhere. But, I mean, if you've watched FOMC a while, you know. It's like, if you would have faded that first minute move on the NQ, if you would have faded the first minute move and just taken a short, right now, you'd be up 152 points. Insane. Again, if you guys weren't on the stream yesterday, I talked about how I'm not very bullish for this FOMC. Why? Why am I not bullish for this current FOMC? The biggest reason that I'm not bullish on this current FOMC is because if you look at like SPY, look at the SPY, right? Again, we just hit another all-time high. Now, if you look, again, average SPY, YOY. Let's just say average SPY, it's there. There it is. So some of you can't see this, but again, the average on the S&P is 10%, right? Let's see, last few year returns on SPY. So last 3 years, 27%. Wait, hold on. Previous SP 500 returns. Okay, here you go. 2020, right? Down. It was down 19%. 2021, 26%. 2020, 16%. There's we had in 2023. I think it was roughly the same, right? In 20-ish%. And we go to the monthly chart on SPY, right? We go to the monthly chart on SPY, right? Let's go to the beginning of this year, February, January, right? Here's your January open right here to now. We're up 19%, even with a rate cut. Again, we talked about how even on stream that 100% we're going to get a rate cut this year. We thought we'd maybe get that move originally with the rate cut. But already up 19% this year. Average rate of return is 10%. I will say, though, that it's not necessarily bad to have 19, 20%. I mean, that's still good. That's still possible, right? But again, if you look at our daily chart, I mean, we literally today, for one, hit that all-time high again on SPY. But we're also, just in these highs, and it's not even the end of the year yet. I think if we do get another push, we could potentially have another leg up. There's a possibility if we pull our Fibonacci here. Sorry, I want to pull. Yeah, actually here. Another leg up, to me, that would make sense. Could be pretty insane. There's a possibility. I don't think it would do it, but 4% could happen. Why? 50% retracement lines up at previous highs. We talked about that on gold and why we were, more bearish on gold. But again, going into FOMC, you can't really predict whether or not you're going to go real crazy or not. But for, a Fibonacci move, this could be worth it here. And you could even put on Fib extensions to do that calculation. But either way, I personally like it where it's at, similar to those previous highs. So that 4% move could happen. That would put us up over 20%. But what do you think, pump or dump, man? Well, we got to wait on Jerome to speak, but usually it's pretty crazy, so it doesn't really matter. It's going to go in both directions. The difference, though, for Bitcoin, for those of you that are, my Bitcoin viewers, here's what's big about Bitcoin. And I posted my Bitcoin analysis earlier on Sundays on my Twitter at Indicators Work. Again, if you're not using indicators, if you think indicators don't work, you're probably using them wrong. This was the big thing right here. Okay. In the 2020 halving, that was the last time Donald J. Trump got elected, right? He got elected in 2020 halving, or he got elected in 2020, and we had the halving in 2020 in what, July, May, whatever it was. The date is not as concerning. What is interesting is that a lot of you guys can't see this, which is really annoying. Either way, down here, some of you can. We had a red September after the 2020 halving. Okay, again, U.S. markets usually red in September. That's just how it is. But there was an election year as well. In the last 3 months of the year after September, starting in October on Bitcoin, we had a halving and we had an election and Donald Trump got elected. Okay? Starting from October, we had a 167% run into the end of the year. 167% to end off 2020. This is why right now the stars are aligning. This is something that could happen again. Everything is lining up. Will it? Who knows? Because now we have a lot more volume because of these ETFs. But everything yet again is aligning perfectly for this. Bitcoin monthly charts trying to even make a bullish hammer candle. All right. Price action front on Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin bouncing right back. All right. Here's your monthly on Bitcoin. Look at this hammer. Look at this hammer on Bitcoin. There you go. Here's your election. Here, I should do it here. Here's September halving 2020, right? Here's your September. Right? You had the halving back in the summer. Here, 3 months right here. Right? Here's October's month. First month was 28%. Second month, put it at 85%. Third month, it was a little bit more. I said 167%. Should have been 170. Either way, 170% here on Bitcoin from that push. 18K was moved on the Donald Trump got elected in November, and you had a push up to 30K on Bitcoin. So why couldn't we have that similar idea happen here, right? And also right now we're potentially closing at a bullish monthly hammer candle here. So let's say we get a 150% move, right? Now, again, I talked about how I want 100K at the end of the year, by the end of the year, right? Now, a lot of you are going to think this price is probably pretty crazy, but that puts you, if we had 150%, over 150K, which is insane. But quite interesting. Look at gold, bro. Why do you want to look at gold, man? You just tagged all-time highs and you dump back down. Now it's ripping again. Gold usually picks a single direction and moves. It doesn't do this overall retrace stuff. Took out all those highs on FOMC. But yeah, so that's pretty much it on Bitcoin there. That's what I would want to full on look for. Is see if you get that last 3 month push. Gold's at the top there for you gold feeds. 10 minutes until he speaks. Yes. Speaks in 9, actually, no. 9 minutes. LuxAlgo is deadlocked. What? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, brother, but... Bounced right off VWAP again. This is, man, VWAP is 100% the best thing ever on top of, like, our money flow profile and the reversal zones. Like, the perfect combination of indicators are VWAP, the reversal zones and the signals and overlays, and then like high time frame order blocks on the price action concepts, like the like on the NQ here. Like look at this, can't make this up, right? Here's your NQ. I'm gonna put gold down here. That was one gold. This literally this morning dumped into this reversal zone with an order block overlap. This is usually what I like to see. And this is a 1 hour order block. It's not even a 5 minute, but there's your 5 minute chart, right? You get a nice lower low, then a completely massive engulfing candle off of that reversal zone, which is this lower band, and the 1 hour order block completely rips from that low V bounce back to VWAP, bounces off VWAP, and then you get this mega push right into that upper order block, which then rejected back to VWAP. I mean, what do you want me to say? It can be as clean as it gets. Do I have a VWAP in it? There is one. Yeah, but regular VWAP, man. I think we might launch one on our signals and overlays, but just traditional VWAP, again, the entire trading industry from like back when VWAP was created uses it. So that's why it's something that's good to use on top of other indicators. But again, there you go. High volume node bounced 5-6 times. That lined up with VWAP, which makes it even better, right? XP said, "You're my exit liquidity, buddy." Well, I'm going to be honest, XP. You're liquidity as well, brother. We're all liquidity. Every retail trader, it doesn't matter who you are, is liquidity. We don't control these markets. You're just somebody that assumes that you're taking money from everybody else when you are, if you're profitable. But when you lose, you're just as much exit as the rest of us. There's only a few people or only a few funds in this world that have full control. And it's not us, especially not you. I love when people come in, they're like, "Bro, thanks for the liquidity, dude. Like, thanks, man." It's like, made 15K this week from trading Arrow. Okay, and then you're even talking about crypto, so get out of here, brother. You're talking about Arrow that has nothing to do with what we're even talking about right now. 10 minutes till he speaks? No, we got 5 minutes now. 5 minutes. J Powell on the track, ready to spit some dirty fire. I don't know why this moved. We'll get him in a minute. What is FOMC? It's a rate decision right now for the U.S. market. How long? I've been trading for 9 years. Well, wait. Yeah. That's crazy. 2015. Dude, what? Back when, like, Robinhood launched. I mean, I wouldn't say it would be. That's not worth. Like, 9 years isn't even. I shouldn't say that because, like, back then I literally just used Robinhood and, like, freaking. If you. Hold on. There's a few things to know if somebody's been trading for a while. I gotta remember what the if you know what TC2000 is, you've been trading for a while. Just gonna be honest. If you remember the OG TC2000, I think that's right. You've been trading for a while. Yeah. You know what TC2000 is. Yo, BK, what's up? Bruh, yeah, there you go. If you have a specific, sorry, trying to answer multiple questions here. Yes, brother. You just have to have a trading, any market on TradingView, it'll work. If you know BitConnect, yes. BitConnect as well. BitConnect 1000%. If you bought XRP when it launched on Bitstamp, then again, you've been trading for a while. Actually, I think it launched on something else early, but Bitstamp was the only. Oh, it might have been Bitstamp. Let me see. Now I'm curious. I need to go back and look at my fills on XRP. What platform did XRP launch on? Because it was. I used to buy it on Bitstamp. It was like the only place you could buy it. OpenCoin. In 2012, and then when it hit Bitstamp is when I would buy it. But then now, again, I've been out of it forever just because it didn't do what it was supposed to do. What crypto do I hold? I only hold Bitcoin, Solana, and then I've been getting rid of my Ethereum. 50 bonus points. 50 bonus points. With 50 basis point cut. If you go to the LuxAlgo Twitter or X account, you will be up to date on everything going on in real time. Again, that happened 27 minutes ago. Come on, brother. Old news. Just kidding. SQQQ, nah. Again, all the ones I suggest the most: reversal zones, high time frame order blocks, and then what I like to use is that money flow profile, which is free. This indicator is free, money flow profile. Go check it out. We also just launched a video on it right now. I try to stream Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning at 10 Eastern. I'm usually on, usually 30 minutes after open. And then we try to stream Monday and Wednesday in the afternoon for our international audience, and we do crypto in the afternoons. Now we're doing a little bit of both. There's your gold down there. NASDAQ. Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, again, it rejected that 1 hour block. I have the same blocks on the 1 hour. Let me go to Coinbase. The same 1 hour blocks rejected there on that first initial push. Bounced off of it had a breaker though. It broke that earlier. You've been using SQQQ? Alex, favorite strategy? I'm going to be honest, Alex. There's a bunch of really good strategies. I mean, like, if you can understand price action, you have a lot of people coming here talking about ICT, and we love ICT's concepts. I mean, he has some really good theories on how price moves, and proper price action movement. Again, I'm somebody that likes to set up potential. I like to set up alerts for setups in the market via the price action concepts custom alert creator. So I can set up a certain market structure sequence that I like. But essentially, I kind of watch price day in and day out via the three features I just mentioned: the money flow profile, reversal zones, and those high time frame order blocks. That's pretty much what I don't really have a set strategy. It's more so is price reacting. I really like VWAP, and when this VWAP reject with high volume nodes like this, when those overlap and make clean rejects like this with certain candle patterns, like in this case, you had, two open close highs here on the 5 minute there and there after, pretty much a break then there down to this either a reversal zone retest, or if you have a higher time frame order block as well. I like to watch price and see how it does. I don't have anything set. It's more so managing your risk. FEGs are great. FEGs are really good for entries, and that usually will happen. That's usually something that I'll use sometimes for specific entries. But look at VWAP. I mean, it's so clean. This is Bitcoin. We got Jerome here now. Hold up. Let me get him going. Oh, yeah. He should be balling here in just a second. Oh, no. I'm sorry. You got me talking, brother. Why isn't it playing? You reload right now.
Growing confidence that with an appropriate recalibration of our policy stance, strength in the labor market can be maintained in a context of moderate growth and inflation moving sustainably down to 2%. We also decided to continue to reduce our securities holdings. I will have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has continued to expand at a solid pace.
Let me fix it.
GDP rose at an annual rate of 2.2% in the first half of the year, and available data point to a roughly similar pace of growth this quarter. Growth of consumer spending has remained resilient, and investment in equipment and intangibles has picked up from its anemic pace last year. In the housing sector, investment fell back in the second quarter after rising strongly in the first. Improving supply conditions have supported resilient demand and the strong performance of the U.S. economy over the past year. In our summary of economic projections, committee participants generally expect GDP growth to remain solid, with a median projection of 2% over the next few years. In the labor market, conditions have continued to cool. Payroll job gains averaged 116,000 per month over the past 3 months, a notable step down from the pace seen earlier in the year.
Thank you.
The unemployment rate has moved up, but remains
pull up the
low
other
at
charts in just a
4.2%. Nominal wage growth has eased over the past year, and the jobs-to-workers gap has narrowed. Overall, a broad set of indicators suggest that conditions in the labor market are now less tight than just before the pandemic in 2019. The labor market is not a source of elevated inflationary pressures. The median projection for the unemployment rate in the SEP is 4.4% at the end of this year, 0.4 higher than projected in June. Inflation has eased notably over the past 2 years, but remains above our longer run
There you
goal
go,
of
whatever.
2%. Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index and other data indicate that total PCE prices rose 2.2% over the 12 months ending in August.
You want to watch Subway
And that
Surfers? Go
excluding
play
the
it,
volatile
man.
food and
Yeah, I'm
energy
not going to put Subway
categories,
Surfers on.
core PCE prices rose
Y'all are nuts.
2.7%. Longer-term inflation expectations
You don't want to shorten that
appear to
time,
remain
that
well-anchored,
attention span, I
as
promise.
reflected in a broad range of surveys of households,
It's not worth it.
businesses, and forecasters,
It's already short enough.
as well as measures from financial
Yeah.
markets.
Who said inverse head and shoulders?
The
I saw
median
somebody say
projection
that.
in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 2.3% this year and 2.1% next year, somewhat lower than projected in June. Thereafter, the median projection is 2%.
Like, look at this here. Bull
Our
flag.
monetary policy
took out this-
actions are
took
guided
out
by
this
our
low
dual
right here.
mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. For much of the past 3 years, inflation ran well above our 2% goal.
Bull flag off a high
and
volume
labor
note
market
as well.
conditions were extremely tight.
But this is
Our
inverse head and
primary
shoulders. I
focus
mean, you could
had
you
been
could
on
you could
bringing
have said
down
that.
inflation, and
You could have
appropriately so.
essentially had it.
We are acutely aware that high inflation
Little
imposes
wonky, but it's
significant
there.
hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials.
I'm 18
like
and I
food,
gamble your
housing,
net
and
on the daily.
transportation.
Do we have stocks and real
Our
estate in
restrictive
here?
monetary policy has helped
Is
restore
this
the
stocks and real
balance
estate?
between
maybe?
aggregate
The,
supply and demand,
The
easing
photoshopping and
inflationary
inspect
pressures,
element legend.
and ensuring that inflation expectations remain well anchored. Our patient
This is
approach
the
over the
NASDAQ.
past year has paid dividends.
Let me.
Inflation is now much closer to our objective, and we have gained greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably toward 2%.
Let's see how
As
Bitcoin's
inflation
doing.
has declined and the labor market has cooled,
Bitcoin's some-
the
yo,
upside risks
Bitcoin's
to inflation
ripping.
have diminished,
Nice.
and the downside risks
Remember,
to
Bitcoin.
employment
We
have
want to get
increased.
into this high
We
volume
now
range
see
right
the
now.
risks to achieving our employment and
We
inflation
want to get in this
goals
node. I've
as
been wanting to
roughly
get in
in
this node
balance,
for a minute.
and we are attentive to the risks to both sides of our dual mandate.
Something like
In light
that.
of the progress
If you
on
are, that's
inflation and
awesome.
the balance of risks, at today's meeting, the committee decided to lower
That's
the
actually
target
funny.
range for the federal funds rate by a half percentage point to 4.75% to 5%. This recalibration of our policy stance will help maintain the strength of the economy and the labor market, and will continue
Love this.
to enable
Love the
further
oscillator
progress
right
on
now.
inflation as we begin the process of moving toward a more neutral stance.
You got multiple levels of bullish
We are
divergence.
not
And
on
yeah,
any
turning point
preset
above the
course.
50 right now.
We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting. We know that
Bad
reducing
Bitcoin.
policy restraint too quickly could hinder
Yo.
progress on inflation.
Classic.
At the same time, reducing
Classic.
restraint too slowly could unduly weaken economic activity and employment. And considering
What are we
additional
rejecting?
adjustments
Oh,
to the
we're
target range
rejecting
for the
that
federal
1 hour
funds
order
rate,
block yet
the committee
again.
will carefully assess incoming data,
No way.
the evolving outlook, and the balance
1
of
hour
risks.
order block. Rejected.
In our SEP, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal
Again,
funds
guys, I
rate
posted. I literally
based on
posted
what
these
each
levels this
participant
morning.
judges to be the most likely scenario.
This is what I
going
posted this
forward.
morning.
If the economy evolves as
Look
expected,
familiar?
the median participant projects that
We
the
said
appropriate level of the
on-
federal funds
on the
rate
post,
will be 4.4%
Reject
at the end of this year,
19,900, bounce
3.4%
19,600
at the end
on the
of
NASDAQ. Let's see
2025.
here, NASDAQ. What do we bounce
These
off
median
of?
projections are lower than in June.
What do we bounce
consistent
off
with the
of?
projections for
Let's
lower
see.
inflation and
The
higher
low
unemployment,
of today
as well as the
was
changed balance of
19,583.
These projections, however,
What
are
we
not the
reject
committee
off
plan
of? The
or
high of
decision.
today was
As the economy
19,900.
evolves, monetary policy.
Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
I
Price
mean,
stability
Jerome's
goals.
my daddy, but
If the economy
I would say
remains
that's pretty
solid
good.
and inflation persists, we can dial back policy restraint more slowly. If the labor market were to
Hey,
weaken unexpectedly, or inflation were to fall more quickly than
Matthews?
anticipated,
Dude, we
are
don't either,
prepared to
trust me.
respond. Policy is well positioned to deal
We
with
don't
the risks and
understand the
uncertainties
American
that we
economy
face
either.
in pursuing
Nobody
both
does.
sides of our dual mandate.
It's literally now it's a casino.
The Fed has been assigned two goals
It's
for
just a
monetary
casino.
policy: maximum
So
employment. and
find your
stable
edge
prices.
and try
We
to be
remain
profitable.
committed to
That's all I can
supporting
say.
maximum employment.
You
bringing
want
inflation
a leg
back
up
down to
on
our
a
2%
potential
goal
edge?
and keeping
Use indicators
longer-term
by
inflation
LuxAlgo on top of
expectations
traditional
well anchored.
market
Our
analysis.
success in delivering on these
It's just
goals
gonna help
matters
you
to all
not
Americans.
have a headache.
We understand that our actions affect communities, families,
Yo,
and
bullish
businesses
divergence on the
across the country.
15 NQ
Everything
minute,
we do
baby. That
is
thing
in
played
service
out
to our public
perfectly.
mission.
Market is
The Fed will do
edging me,
everything we
yo.
can to achieve our mission.
Who's your daddy?
That was the wrong button.
Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Here we go. This is when it gets fun. This is when it gets fun.
CNBC. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for taking our questions. In July, you said you weren't necessarily
Simplifying trading is step one. The more simple you make it, the easier it is. Do not overcomplicate it.
Strong third quarter GDP running 3%. So what changed that made the committee go 50, and how do you respond to the concerns that
Don't buy or
shows
sell any of
the Fed
this.
is more concerned about the labor market? And I guess, should we expect more 50s in the months ahead? And based on what should we make that call? Thank you.
More 50s?
So, okay, a lot of questions in there. Let me jump in. Since the last meeting, we have had
Probably
a lot of
this
data
is
come
the
in. We've
most
had
boring
two
thing ever to
employment
happen in the market
reports,
other than
July
the
and
price
August.
action.
We've also had two inflation reports, including one that came in during blackout. We had the QCEW
How are banks
report,
doing?
which suggests that suggests that the payroll report
Yo.
numbers that we're getting may be artificially high and will be revised down. You know that.
Smart Trail stochastic RSI? Yeah, brother.
So we took all
You
of
like those
those
together, Brad?
and we
I like the
went into
combos.
blackout and we thought about
There's gold
what
coming
to
back
do,
down.
and we concluded that this was the right thing for the economy, for the people that we serve, and that's how we made our decision. So that's one question. What was the second and
How
third?
do we make the, sorry, thank you, sir. How do we figure out in the months ahead, is there another 25 or 50 coming in? Based on what shall we make that call? Thank you.
Sure. So, a couple things. A good place to start is the SEP. But let me start with what I said, which was that we're going to be making decisions meeting by meeting, based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, the balance of risks. If you look at the SEP, you'll see that it's
What
a
are you watching?
process of
We're watching Jerome
recalibrating
speak
our policy
after
stance
the
away from where we
Fed
had
just
a
voted
year ago
11 to
when inflation
1
was high and
on
unemployment low,
a 50 basis
to a place
point
that's
rate
more
cut.
appropriate given where we are
We
now
had
and
the
where
50
we expect to be. And that process will
basis
take
point
place
from-
over time.
from
There's nothing
fi-
in the
5.5%
that
down to
suggests the committee
5%.
is in a rush to get
Was the
this
cut.
done. This process evolves over time. Of course, that's a projection. That's a
Purple tie.
baseline projection.
Dang.
We know, as I mentioned in my remarks,
That was a market poly thing.
the actual things that we do will depend on the way the economy
had a purple
evolves.
tie.
We can go quicker if that's
Dude,
appropriate.
you
We can go
know
slower
he
if that's appropriate.
knows.
We can pause if that's appropriate.
You know he
But
knows.
that's
What
what
is
we're
it?
contemplating. I would point you to the SEP as
It's not market
just an
poly. I
assessment
thought it
of
was.
where,
Yeah, it is. Probably market. That's
what
what
the
it is.
committee is thinking today.
You know.
What the individual members, rather, of the committee are thinking today, assuming that their
He did-
particular
Bro,
forecasts
it paid.
are realized.
Like, how?
Hi, Chris Rugaber
Well-
at Associated Press. Thank you. The projections show that the Fed officials expect the Fed funds rate to still
And
be
there goes
above,
gold, right
that
back down.
estimate of long-run neutral by the end of
Oh,
next year.
gold, where you
So
going?
Does
All right.
that suggest you see rates as restrictive?
Where could gold
for
go
that
next?
entire period? Does that threaten
What's
the
the
weakening
NQ
of the
doing?
job market that you said you'd like to avoid?
NQ sideways.
Or
Wow,
does it
what a
suggest that maybe,
surprise.
people
It's
see short-run
sideways.
Neutral is a little bit higher.
Yes,
than
sideways.
it is. Thank you.
I think
Bitcoin.
the
Please
way I would
be
really
cranking.
characterize
Bitcoin's
it
up.
is this. I
Bitcoin's
think
up
people write down their
a full
estimate,
percent right now
individuals do.
on the
I
day.
think
Back
every
trying to get into
single
this
person on the
node here.
committee, if you ask them what's your level of certainty
My
around
fibs
that,
for
they
gold.
would
What are
say
your fibs-
there's a
fib levels
wide
there, man?
range where that could fall. So I think we
What
don't
fib
know.
levels
There
do
are
you got?
model-based
Let's see here.
approaches and empirically based approaches that estimate what the
He
neutral
got
rate
this
will be at any
massive,
given time.
massive imbalance.
But
There's your
realistically,
5618,
we know it
71.
by its works. So that leaves us in a place where we'll be.
I don't
we'll-
know,
we
man. You
expect,
got,
in the
dude,
base
618
case, to
lines
be
up with this
continuing
high
to
though
remove
on the 15. I
restriction,
like that.
And we'll be looking at the way the economy
look at the 1
reacts
hour.
to that, and that'll be guiding us in our thinking about the
You do
question
have
that we're
that
asking at every meeting, which
block
is
there,
our
too.
policy stance the appropriate one?
you trade oil?
We know, if you go back.
Not
we know
really.
that
I'll
the
swing
policy
like
stance we adopted in
USO
July
sometimes
of
in certain oil
2023,
scenarios, but I don't really trade oil.
Came at a
no.
time
How
when
is oil
unemployment
doing
was
with this?
3.5% and
Usually
inflation was 4.2%.
Usually it's not as crazy.
Today, unemployment is up to 4.2%. Inflation's down to a few
oil-
tenths above
Under
2.
70 though is a little
So
crazy.
we know that it is time to recalibrate our policy.
By the end of the crypto
to
bull
something that
cycle, I'm
is
going to be a fully
more
funded
appropriate
MMA
given the
flyer.
progress on inflation and on employment, moving to a more sustainable level. So that the balance of risks are now even.
Once he
And this is
leaves, the
beginning
market
of that
goes up, meaning
process.
it goes up for the
I mentioned
entire
the
day. It
direction
just
of which is
depends,
toward,
man. It just depends.
a
The reason
sense of
why I think the
neutral,
market, and again, this is not
and
Bitcoin.
we'll
I
move
think
as
like
fast or
I
as
think the
slow as we
U.S.
think is
market
appropriate in real
today,
time.
I
What
think
you
we're going
have
to
is
top
a-
out, in my opinion, right now.
individual accumulation
Again,
of
we're
individual
already
estimates
we
of
hit
what
all-time
that will be
highs
in the base
again
case.
today on SPY.
Howard?
I just think we can pull back a bit. That's all. I don't think
Howard
it'd be-
Schneider with Reuters. How close was this in terms of the decision? You do have the first dissent by a governor since 2005, I think. Was the weight clearly in favor of a 50, or was this
Yes.
a very close
What do you
decision?
mean, dude? Did you not read
I
it?
think we had a good discussion. If you go back,
It was 11 to 1
I talked
vote.
about this at Jackson Hole, but I didn't address the question of the size of the cut, left it open, and I think we left it open going into blackout. And so there was a lot of discussion back and forth, good diversity of division, excellent discussion today. I think there was also broad support for the decision that the committee voted on. So I would add, though, look at the SEP. All 19 of the participants wrote down multiple
Kai, I'm
cuts
reading both
this year.
chats, bro.
All 19.
I have two
That's
chats.
a big change from June, right? Seven of the,
Potentially high.
seven of
That
them
might be in
wrote
the
down
making
3 or
there,
more, and-
but
sorry,
I'll keep that
17
noted.
of the 19 wrote down 3 or more cuts, and 10 of the 19 wrote down 4 or more cuts. So, there is a dissent, and there's a range of views, but there's actually
This the
a lot of
real
common
Moon
ground
Boy?
as well.
Follow up to that, now that this is in the books,
Moon
give us
Boy.
some guidance as sort of follow up to Steve on
Back
the
red
pacing here.
on the SPY.
Would you expect
Right
this
back
to be
down.
running every other meeting once we get into next year? For
Yeah,
example?
we're gonna take it meeting by meeting. As I mentioned, there's no sense that the
We finally
committee
cut
feels
rates
it's in a
down.
rush
Took
to do
forever.
this. We made a good, strong start to this, and that's really, frankly, a sign. of
Everybody that
confidence.
thinks
Confidence
that
in inflation
Jerome should
is,
walk out
is coming down
and do
toward 2% on a
this
sustainable
before
basis.
he cuts
That gives
rates.
us the ability. We can.
You guys don't know what that
make
is,
a good,
and-
strong start, but.
Gala stream too.
And I'm very pleased that we did. To me,
just
the
comes in and
logic of
goes,
this, both from an economic standpoint and also from a risk management standpoint, was clear.
That would be awesome.
But I think we're going to go carefully, meeting by
That would be
meeting, and make our
And then he
decisions as we go.
then he announces the cut rather than it just hitting the market. That'd be nice.
Hi, Chair Powell. Gina Smilek of the New York Times. Thanks for taking our questions. You and your colleagues in your economic projections today see the unemployment rate climbing to 4.4% and staying there. Obviously, historically, when the unemployment rate
Those who
climbs
know.
that much over a relatively short period of time, it doesn't typically just stop. It continues increasing. And so I wonder if you can walk us through why you see the labor market stabilizing, sort of what's the mechanism there, and what do you see as the risks?
So, again, the labor market is actually in solid condition.
That gas
And our
bouncing.
intention.
Gold right back
policy
down. What do we
today
see? What do we
is to
see? What do we
keep it
see?
there.
What is this on
You
gold?
can say that about the whole economy.
got your
The
fib
US
levels
economy
there,
is in good shape.
618.
It's growing.
The
at a solid
61.8 right
pace.
now,
Inflation is coming down.
bouncing.
The labor market is in a strong pace.
There's your nice
We
little
wanna keep it
scalpy.
there. That's what we're doing.
$3, $3.50, 368 pips.
Sorry, Nick.
Pretty good. There's your mega bounce. Whoever had that 618 right there. You trade that?
Nick Timmer
Adam?
from Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, does today's action constitute a catch-up?
You trade that 5-minute bounce, 15-minute bounce?
To the employment
mean,
data?
That was
Or is
right
this
off
larger
again.
than typical
We just
rate
said
cut
this
a
too.
function of
It was
the
right off that
elevated
previous high.
nominal
When things
of
like
the
that
policy
line up
rate
to me,
such that an
especially on a
accelerated
fib, they're like
cadence
perfect.
Could be expected
Literally
to
perfect.
continue.
Okay.
He said, "Oh yeah, bro, I'm already
So
in
I would
it."
say,
That's
we don't
that's
think
the
we're
perfect right there.
behind.
That's your
We do
your.
not think we think this
The
is
only
timely,
reason it's
but I think
perfect
you
is
can
because
take
it
this
is
as a
off of this
sign
previous
of our
high right
commitment
here.
Not to get behind. So It's
Yo.
a strong move. So your other question was?
Mega
Is
move.
this
Mega
about what
move.
happened in the employment data
Seven.
between this
$7.
meeting and the last meeting, or is this about the level of the funds rate, the high nominal level of the funds rate relative to
XP, you have a
what
Discord. I
might
wanna
be
show you my
expected if you're
BMW
trying to
M5
maintain
So
equilibrium?
I think it's
At
about
18. The fact that
we
you
come
keep
into
saying at
this,
18 makes me think you're not 18, man.
with
Why do
a
you keep
policy
saying
position
18?
that was put in place,
There's
as
two
you know,
things that could be
I
the
mentioned
immaturity of
in
you
July
trying to
of
flex that you're 18 and
2023,
you have that
which
car,
was a time of high
or
inflation
you're
and
just
very
saying
low
that
unemployment.
because it's
We've
funny.
been very
I don't know.
patient about reducing the policy rate.
That was
We've
a hell of a
waited.
bounce,
Other central
though.
banks around the world have cut many of them several times. We've waited.
At 18,
and
by
I
the
think
way.
that patience has really
Dude.
paid dividends in the form
Let's
of
go
our
to Bitcoin.
confidence that inflation is moving sustainably under 2%. So I think
Yo,
that is what
Bitcoin
enables us to take
trending
this strong
nicely.
move today.
Let's go to the
I do
1-hour.
not think that anyone should look at this and say, "Oh, this is the
Get
new
into the
pace."
node, brethren. Get into
you know,
the
you have to-
node.
have
I
to think
want
about
it.
it in terms of
I
the
got
base
it.
case. Of
You
course,
need it.
what
You want
happens
it.
will
You
happen.
got it.
So
Daily
in
Bitcoin.
the base case, what you
This looks
see
so
is look
good
at the
on the
S&P.
daily.
you
Daily
see
today on Bitcoin,
cuts
just
moving
close
along.
over.
The sense of this is
I would
that
love a
recalibrating
close up
policy
over
down
61,373.
over time
That'd be
to
honestly the
a
best.
more neutral level. And we're moving
But-
at the pace
I don't know, we'll
that
see.
we think is appropriate given developments in the economy and the
What,
base
why do you
case.
keep flexing that you're 18? I don't
economy
care.
can
You could be
develop in a way
you could
that
be
would cause
12.
us to
You
go
could
faster or
be in
slower,
the womb
but that's
and
what the
have
base
your
case
car, and
says.
I don't care. Honestly, you could be in the womb.
In 2019, when you did
You
the
could come
mid-cycle
out.
adjustment,
You could come out
ceased
with the car.
balance sheet runoff.
I don't care.
With the larger cut today,
Then your age doesn't
is there
matter.
should there be any signal inferred about
Go ask Gary
how the
Vee. I'm pretty
committee
sure he
would
didn't
approach,
become like a
end state on the
billionaire
balance
until he was
sheet,
like 45. Why doesn't it
policy?
matter?
So, in the current situation,
Is it me or
reserves have
XRP
really
just
been
irritating,
stable.
dude?
They haven't come down. So
Oh,
reserves
XP.
are
Oh,
still
I thought you said
abundant
XRP.
and expected to
Honestly,
remain
he
so for
has
some
two.
time. As you know,
He has
the
two
shrinkage in our balance
text.
sheet has really
Or,
come out of the
he has
overnight
two
RRP.
letters
So I think what that
of
tells you
a
is
completely
we're
worthless
not thinking
asset,
about
AKA
stopping,
XRP. Why
runoff
you don't?
because of
I'm
this
not
at
going to
all.
drive a
We
Prius.
know that these two things can happen side by side. In a sense, they're both a form of normalization. And so
You
for
know,
a
he
time,
bag holds
you can have
XRP
the
though.
balance
He
sheet
has
strengthen,
to.
but also be
He just
cutting
needs one
rates.
more letter, and he's XRP.
Colby.
You
Thank
became
Colby
too
Smith
chilled
with the
after
Financial
having a
Times.
second
Just following
kid.
up on Gina's question on rising unemployment.
Yeah,
Is it your-
no,
is it your
XP
view that
XP
this is
definitely
just a
holds XRP.
function
You can
of a
tell.
normalizing labor
He's
market
one letter
amid
away from
improved
his name being
supply?
XRP.
Or is there anything to suggest that something
Nah,
more
you
concerning
definitely bought a lot of
perhaps is taking
XRP.
place here, given that other metrics
The fact you're flexing
of
that you're
labor demand have
18, whatever you
softened
said,
too.
you definitely have XRP.
And I guess in direct follow-up to Gina is
I
do
like
not-
XRP very
why
cheap.
should we
Yo,
not
come on,
expect
bro.
a further deterioration in labor market
Errors in the chat for
conditions
that guy.
if policy is
Cardano.
changed?
Okay, now we're
I
getting
think
even
what
worse.
we're seeing is clearly.
I already even looked at it, Cardano. Or is
labor
it
market conditions have cooled off
33
by any
cents?
measure.
Is it coming
As I
back?
talked about in Jackson.
Is this the ultimate
And,
comeback?
but they're still at a level.
Like,
the
God
level of
bless
those
it. Look at
conditions
this.
is actually pretty close to what I would call maximum
You know,
employment.
XP
So
definitely
you're
holds
close to
XRP.
mandate, maybe at mandate on that.
He definitely holds XRP.
So what's
100%.
driving it? Clearly, payroll job creation has moved down over the last few months, and
You want,
this bears
someone
watching.
asked for Solana.
By many
Solana,
other
guys,
measures, the labor
right
market has
now, if
returned
you know
to
me,
a
I
below
bought
the
about a
2019
gajillion
levels,
times
which
off
was a very
121.
good,
Every time it
strong
tags
labor
that, it's
market,
just
but
100% the
this is
best buy
more
ever.
sort of 2018, 17.
Bought it again,
So
off
the
121.
labor
I
market
honestly,
bears
I
close-
just
bears
between
close
here, I
watching,
don't
and
really
we'll be
want to
giving
buy it
back.
anymore. I want to get over
But ultimately, we
136 here
think,
from
we
that
believe,
weekly level.
with an
Get back into the
appropriate recalibration
140s,
of our policy,
150s,
that,
and then start
we can
considering
continue to see
potential
the
targets
economy
next.
growing,
But
and that will
again,
support the labor
most
market. In the
all
meantime,
crypto,
if you
I
look
don't
at
really,
the
I don't
growth of
trade
economic
crypto. I just
activity
buy it
data,
when it
retail
hits key
sales data
levels.
that
I
we
don't.
just got,
The only thing I actually
second quarter
trade is like the
GDP,
Nasdaq
all of this indicates an
in
economy
the
that is
ES.
still growing at a
And
solid
like I'll swing
pace.
trade like some stocks,
So
man.
that
That's
should
about it.
also support.
What's up,
the labor
Rumble
market
dude?
over
Welcome
time.
back, bro.
So, but again, we're
Go back to
bears
gold.
watching and we're watching.
If gold made that,
Just on
it just
the
drilled.
point about,
It just drilled that
starting to see
thing.
rising layoffs. If that were to
Again,
happen,
always
what is the
fade the first
committee
move. I don't care what
already
asset you're
too late
trading. What a
in terms of avoiding a
freaking
recession?
drop back. That just
So
took
we're-
out all of
that's,
its.
You know, our plan, of course, has been
No, I
to
don't.
begin to recalibrate. And as you know, we're not seeing rising.
have any of
claims.
that.
We're
I
not
usually just have
seeing
the majors.
rising layoffs. We're not seeing that. And
Don't
we're not
try to to
hearing that from
shill
companies
that
that's
as
something that's
it
getting
being a
ready to
major.
happen. So we're not waiting for that, because there is thinking that the
What time frame do you
to
use?
support
My
the labor market
favorites,
is
the
when
lowest I'll
strong,
go
and
usually
not
is
when you
5
begin to
minute.
see the layoffs. They're
If I'm
somewhere
okay,
on
so
that.
if I'm gonna swing trade,
that's
it's
the situation
15
we're in.
1
We
hour
have,
and
in fact,
4 hour
begun
in the
the
daily.
cutting cycle
15 1 hour,
now.
4 hour daily.
And,
Honestly,
we'll be
even when I'm
watching,
swinging, I
and
don't
that'll
really
be one of
look
the
at
factors
the
that we consider. Of course,
the
we're gonna
15
look at
minutes.
the
Mostly
totality
1
of the data
hour,
as we
4 hour
make these
daily.
decisions
If
meeting
I'm
by
day
meeting.
trading, it's going to be between the 1 minute and the 15.
Michael McKee with Bloomberg TV and radio.
It depends on the day.
To follow up on that,
I'll always
what would
post
constitute for you
when I
and the
post my
committee a
analysis on here. It's going to
deterioration
be
in
the
labor market? You're
15-minute,
pricing in
1 hour, and then
basically
maybe
by
4
the end
hours.
of next year, 200
we literally
basis points of
told
cuts
you that's the
just
exact
to
move of what
maintain
was going to happen
a
today. That
higher
was nuts.
unemployment rate. Would you be moving to a more preemptive monetary
XP
policy
bought into
style
Arrow at
rather than,
13
as you
cents,
did with
probably at the
inflation,
age of 13 as
waiting
well.
until the data gave you a signal?
No, we're going to be watching all of
We
the
had,
data,
I mean, it
right?
makes
So
sense
if-
for this
if, as I
aggressive of a
mentioned in my
cut. Like
remarks, if the labor
the
market
CPI
were
readings
to
have been so good.
slow unexpectedly,
Like
then we have the ability to react to that by
you
cutting
go-
faster. We're also going to be looking at our other mandate, though. We are we have greater confidence now that inflation is moving down to 2%, but at the same time, our
I hate
plan
when
is
that
that we
happens.
will be at 2%.
the CPI readings have been
over
really
time,
good though.
over time. So, and policy, we think, is still restrictive, so that should still be happening.
I'm just curious as to how sensitive you'll be to the labor market, since you forecast we are going to see higher unemployment, and it is going to take a significant amount of monetary easing to just maintain it.
Oh, buddy,
So,
VWAP,
You know,
give
what
me
I would
some
say is
more,
we
Daddy.
don't think we need to see further
at this.
loosening in labor market
I'm gonna take out
conditions
these
to get
blocks real
inflation
quick.
down to 2%.
Too many breakers on that one.
but
Look at that
we have a
massive
dual
imbalance,
mandate,
almost
and I think you
completely
can
just
take this
negated. And
this
then
whole
VWAP standing
action
right there.
as,
You bought VWAP.
take-
That's why I
take a
love
step back. What have we
VWAP.
been trying to
VWAP
achieve? We're trying to
in literally
achieve a
just
situation where we restore price
alongside
stability
a
without the
nice
kind of
little money
painful,
flow profile. You can't
increase in
go
unemployment
wrong. You
that
can't
has
go
come
wrong.
sometimes with this
Lots
inflation.
of
That's what we're
bullish
trying to do.
sentiment.
And I think you
Lots
can
of
take
bullish
today's
sentiment here as
action
well off that
as
first
a
move.
sign of our strong commitment
VWAP,
to
baby,
achieve
you
that goal.
can't go wrong.
Rachel.
I just made it.
Hi, Chair Powell. Rachel Siegel from the Washington Post. Thanks for
I
taking our
added the
questions.
band multiplier at
You're
0.1,
describing
and then I
this view
took
that
off
you
the
don't think you're behind when it
band.
comes to the job
Like I just put the
market.
fill
Can
there.
you walk us through the
It's just-
specific data points
you
that
could
you
do
found
this
to
with
be
the outline,
most
but I
helpful
don't
in
know.
the
I thought it was
discussions
fun.
at this meeting?
It was a fun
You
little
mentioned
way
a
to do
couple,
it.
but would you be able to walk us
Just give it a
through
little
what that
zone,
dashboard
kind
told
of.
you
There's
as far
nothing
as what you know
crazy.
about the job market now?
Sure. So
If you
we'll
want
start with
to
unemployment,
try these
which is the
indicators out
single most
risk-free
important
for
one,
30
probably
days, you can just go to
4.2%.
LuxAlgo.com.
That's, you know,
Click
I
the
know
big
it's higher
button there.
than we
But
were used to seeing
LuxAlgo.com, we
numbers in
also,
the
if you go
mid-
top
even
right-hand corner,
below
hit
mid-threes
library.
last
We
year.
have
But if you look back over the
206
sweep
free
of the years,
indicators.
That's a low. That's
206
a very healthy
free
unemployment
indicators,
rate.
okay?
And
There's probably an
anything in the
indicator in
low
there that would
fours
actually
is
be
a
something that
really-
maybe you've been
is a-
looking
is a
for
good
as an
labor market.
indicator.
So
Again, if you
that's
don't
one
think
thing.
indicators work, you're probably
Participation
using
is
them
at high
wrong.
levels.
And they're also
It's,
there
you
to
know, we've
indicate
we're
things
right
for you.
through
They're not
adjusted
there
for
for you to
demographics,
just
for
sit there and be
aging.
like, okay, this thing is
Participation's
garbage
at
because
pretty
it's
high
not
levels. That's a good
printing
thing.
money
Wages
and
are
like
still a bit
depositing
above,
it into my bank account.
what would be
The
wage
reason
increases,
is
rather,
I
are
can
still
sit
just
here
a bit above where they
and I could
would be
literally,
over
let's
the
say,
very
have
longer term
a
to be consistent
full-time
with
job that
2%
I
inflation,
love.
but they're very much
Luckily, it's
coming down
also
to
in
what
the
that
industry of
sustainable
trading.
level is, so we feel good
But I
about
can
that.
create an
Vacancies
entire
over,
structural
per
alert
unemployed
based on
is
market
back
structure,
to
order blocks,
what's still a
imbalances,
very
trend lines,
strong
whatever
level.
it may
It's not as
be.
high as it was.
And I can
That
create an
number
alert
reached
for
2
that,
to
and
1,
it'll
2
let me
vacancies for every
know
unemployed person,
exactly when my
as
perfect setup
measured. It's now
occurs,
below
so then I can
around-
jump on the
it's
chart
about
when
around
that
one.
happens.
That's still-
I don't have
that's
to
still a
sit
very
here all
good
day
number, I would say.
and stare at my
You know,
computer and
quits,
go blind.
Have come back down
I don't
to
have to.
normal
I
levels.
I
mean, that
can
could go
wait
on
for
and
the
on.
alerts to
There
go
are
off,
many,
and then I can
many
come back and look at
employment
them.
indicators. What do they say? They say this is still
I
a
can
solid
also,
labor
if I
market.
want,
The question isn't the level.
right?
The question is that there has been change over,
if
particularly
I
over the
want
last few
to
months.
as well.
And so what
You
we
know,
say
if there's a
is
strategy I
as
have
the-
in mind, right?
as
If
the
there's a strategy
risks,
I
the
have in mind,
upside
let's
risks
just
to
say it's on
inflation
Ethereum, right?
have really come
I can
down.
go and if
The
I sign
downside
up
risks
for
to
the
employment have increased.
ultimate
And-
plan, I can actually
and
back test something
because
like
we have been patient
with the
and-
signals and overlays indicator,
and
which is
held
the
our
reversal
fire on
zones here.
cutting
Like
while
here
infl-
on
while inflation has
Ethereum,
come
right?
down. I think we're now
This
in
is
a very
from,
good position
let's see,
to manage
this
the
is from
risks to both of our
2019
goals.
to today,
What do you
right?
expect to learn between
Just
now
the
and November that will help
default
inform
strategy
the
from
scale of the cut at the
2019
next
into
meeting?
today. From the back
You know,
testing system,
more
I could
data,
back
the
test
usual.
based on our
Don't look for
things.
anything else.
It had a, again, 48%
we'll see another labor
profitable,
report.
right?
We'll
People
see,
were going to be like, oh, dude, that's garbage,
another
bro. But
jobs
had
report. I think we get a-
7,900 in
we get
profit,
a second
right?
jobs report on the
Only a
day of the
1,900
meeting, I
drawdown.
think.
It had
No,
80%
on the Friday before the
of
meeting.
net profit versus a 10%
so-
drawdown. Now, 10%
And
drawdown is actually
inflation
pretty
data,
awesome.
We'll get all this
This
data,
has
we'll
been
be
going
watching.
on since
It's always a
2019.
question of
Just the
look at
base
incoming
back testing strategy.
data
You can
and-
do a
and
deep
ask
back testing
what
if you want,
are
but
the
then I
implications of
can
that
see if
data
it's
for the
worked if it works.
evolving
And then if I
outlook and the
like
balance of
it,
risks,
I can now
and then
take this
go through our
alert.
process and
I
think
could
what's the
take
right
this
thing to
strategy
do.
script,
Is policy
and I
where
can
we want it to
create
be
an alert
to
that sends it
foster the
to an
achievement of our
automated,
goals over
you know,
time?
broker.
So
They can automatically
that's what it
trigger
is, and
orders for me.
that's what we'll be doing.
If I wanted to do something like that. But again, I can just backtest it straight
Hi,
here
Chair Powell.
in trading.
Neil Irwin with Axios.
Right? So
We've
just
only
one of
been
those
running a
things
little above
that-
100,000
and
jobs
we're
a
here to
month
just
on
give you
payrolls
these
the last
tools
3
to
months.
help you not have
Do you
to
view that
worry
level of
about,
job creation
you
as
know,
worrying
spending
or
all day
alarming,
on the
or would you
charts.
would you be content if we were to kind of stick at that level? And relatedly, you know, one of the welcome trends of the last couple of years has been labor market steam coming out through job openings falling rather than job losses. Do you think that trend has further to run, or do you see risk that further labor market cooling will have to come through job losses?
So on the job creation, it depends on the inflows.
What do you got,
right?
Jerome?
So if you're having
What do you got
millions of
for us,
people come
Jerome?
into the labor force, and you're creating 100,000
Yeah, that VWAP
jobs,
bounce, though.
you're going to see
And-
unemployment go up. So it
Say
really
less.
depends on what's the trend
What do you see here?
underlying the
What do you see?
volatility of people coming into the country. We understand there's been quite an influx across
Where's
the
the majority
borders,
of the volume been
and
for the
that
last
has
200
actually been
bars?
one of the
It's been
things
right
that's-
here in this
that's
little
allowed
box. Where did that wick just
unemployment
tap?
rate to rise. And the other thing
Right
is
here in
just
that
the
little
slow
box,
hiring
right?
rate, which is something we
That
also
just so happened to
watch
be
carefully. So
right
it
here.
does
Where
depend on
what?
what's
Where
happening on the
what?
supply side.
Where
And
what?
on the beverage curve
The
question,
peak volume
yes,
was
so
on the buy side
we all
at
felt on the
2572
committee,
ish.
Not all,
Right?
but I think
2572
everyone on
right
the
there.
committee felt that
Tagged it.
job
There's your
openings
there's
were
your
so
big move
elevated that
there.
They could fall a long
Insane.
way before you hit the part of the curve where job openings
High volume node.
turned into higher unemployment, job loss.
Gotta love
And,
it. Money flow profile.
Yes,
One of my
I
favorites.
mean, I think we are.
Free indicator.
It's hard to know that you can't
check
know
it
these
out.
things with great precision, but certainly it appears that we're very close to that point, if not at it, so that
How's
further
the US
declines in job
bounce?
openings will translate more directly into unemployment. But it's been a great ride.
Man, we've already been
down.
live
I mean,
for an
we've seen
hour.
A lot of
Seems like it's been forever.
of
like we've
tightness
been
come
here
out
for
of
like
the
10
labor
minutes.
market in that form without it resulting in lower employment.
Thanks, Chair Powell. Edward Lawrence, Fox Business. So we've heard some speculation that you may be going with the federal funds rate to 3.5%, maybe under 4%. And there's basically
Back
an
to
entire
Bitcoin.
generation that has experienced
Bitcoin keeps rejecting
zero
that
or
zone.
near zero federal funds rate. Now, some think we're heading.
Here you go again. I
what's
mean,
the
come on.
likelihood that cheap
This
money is
year,
now the
high
norm?
volume node, right?
So this is
Right
a
here.
question. You mean
5.9,
after we go through
5.982.
all of this?
And
It's just
VWAP. Bounce closed
great
above it.
question that we just
Bounce
we
off
can
VWAP
only
again.
speculate about. Intuitively, many people anyway would say we're probably not going back to that era where there were trillions of dollars of sovereign
On a
bonds
discount,
trading at
but
negative
yes,
rates,
we're about to be in the
long-term bonds
holiday
trading at negative
season,
rates.
man. So there'll be a lot of
And
discounts.
it
Our
looked like the
biggest
neutral rate
discounts
was
we
might
ever
be
do
negative,
is
so
on Black
people were
Friday.
issuing debt at negative rates.
Feels like it's been
It
15
seems
minutes, I
that's
know, man.
So
Same.
far away now.
Biggest discounts we do is
My own
usually on
sense
Black
is
Friday.
that-
So you want to
that we're
wait?
not going
It's
back to
only
that.
what, 2
But,
months?
You know, honestly, we're going to
Yeah.
find out. But it feels
We'll have some
it
pretty big
feels,
discounts.
to me, and that the neutral rate is probably significantly higher than it was back then. How high is it? I don't.
Again,
I
we're
just
trying
don't
to
think
help.
We know. It's,
I'm not
again,
going to
we
sit
only
here
know
and
if
try to
price
tell you
works.
that you need to go buy right now. I'd rather you, if you
Respond
want,
to the
like,
criticism
rather
that
have
will
it at a
likely
discount,
come
just wait till
that a deeper
on
rate
Black
cut
Friday.
now before the election has some
Same with the
political
indicators.
motivations.
We're not making them to.
Yeah, so this is
Just
my fourth
goof
presidential
off.
election.
There's a
at
reason
the,
why
at the Fed,
literally
and,
majority of our team are
it's
wizards
always the
on
same.
trading
We're
views.
always-
Like they're
we're
like
always
literally
going
the
into
best of the best.
this meeting in
There's also a
particular
reason
and
why if you go to the
asking
community, you
what's
go to the
the right
top
thing to
liked
do
indicators
for
of
the
all
people we
time.
serve. And
We have a top
we
5
do
all
that,
time liked
and
indicator.
we make a
Smart money
decision as a
concepts.
group,
Literally the top 5
and then
indicator
we
of
announce
all
it,
time on
and
trading.
that's always what it is. It's never about anything else. Nothing
So again,
else
if
is
you do
discussed.
like, you know,
And I would
if
also
you want
point out
something that
the
you can
things
create
we
alerts
do
off of that's
really
free as
affect
well, that's
economic
structural based, go
conditions
check
for the
out
most
Smart Money
part
Concepts.
with,
You will not
with a
have that
lag.
custom alert creator
So,
that I
nonetheless,
showed you
this is what
for
we
the
do.
price
Our
action.
job
'Cause, like,
is
a lot
to
of times what
support
I'll
the
do-
economy on behalf of the American
A
people.
lot of times what I like
And
to do
if
is
we get
here
it right,
on the
this
custom
will
alert
benefit the
creator
American people significantly.
for
So
the price
this
action
really
concepts on
concentrates the
order
mind.
blocks.
And you know, it's something we
I'll
all take
try to
very, very
see if we
seriously.
can
We don't put up any other
where is it?
filters. I think if you start
exit
doing that,
exit a
I
bearish
don't know
order
where to
block
stop.
here as
And so
like
we just
step
don't do
1,
that.
and then as step 2, create any
Thank you, Chair
This is
Powell.
bearish.
I'm
Yeah,
Helen
bearish
Kemp
order block.
with CBS
Create
News.
any
My
would
first
be in that
question is,
case bearish
just very simply,
structure.
What message are you
Internal
trying to send American
bearish.
consumers, the American
Right here,
people?
boom.
with
So
this
now what
unusually
happens
large
is
rate cut?
when price
I would just say
enters,
you know, the U.S. economy
right?
is in a
When
good
price
place,
enters an order block like
our
this, then creates
decision
bearish
today is designed
structure
to
as
keep
a
it there.
second thing.
More specifically,
I
the
can
economy
see
is
if it
growing at a
rejected a
solid
key
pace.
level and then
Inflation is
actually
coming
tried
down
to change
closer
structure,
to our
which is
2%
usually a
objective
pretty
over
good,
time.
good setup.
And
The other thing
labor
I like to
market
do is
still in solid
doing
shape.
a
So our intention is
market
really to
structure,
maintain
any
the strength that we
internal
currently see in the
as
US
the
economy.
first step, and
And we'll do
then
that by
entering an
returning
imbalance.
rates from
So
their high
enter
level, which has
any
really
imbalance
been,
is step
the
2.
purpose of which has been to get inflation under control.
Let me take a look.
We're going to move those down over time to a more normal
So you'll see here
level,
on the where the dots.
over time.
Just a quick follow-up to that. Listening to you talk about inflation moving meaningfully down
make
to
sure I triggered
2%,
that right.
is the Federal Reserve effectively declaring a decisive victory
Where are we
over
going from here?
inflation
Where are we
and
going from
rising
here?
prices?
No, we're not. So inflation, you know, what we say is we want inflation, the goal is to have inflation move down to 2% on a sustainable basis. And
Or to get
we're
an
not
early
really-
indication,
we're
by the way,
close, but we're not really at
you
2%.
can do
I think we're gonna
any
wanna see
imbalance
it
just
be,
forms.
you know, around 2%
While
and
at
close
the
to
same
2% for
time as
some
a market
time.
structure forms, right?
But we're certainly not.
Usually
doing-
what
we're
that
not
means, if it's going to show
saying
up for me.
mission
I
accomplished
think I
or
have to
anything
turn
like
it
that.
on.
But
Hold on.
I have to say, though, we're encouraged by the progress that we have made.
Oh, I have 0.5. That's why. Here's your. I got to turn down volatility threshold. That's why. So in this case, usually
Katerina Saraiva with Bloomberg
what that
News.
means is here today.
I just would love to know kind of how the committee is thinking
So
about
this triggered here.
the persistence we've seen in housing inflation.
When a imbalance was left
you
behind,
know,
right?
Do you think you
So
can
that usually
return to
entails that
2% with
in this
housing
case,
inflation where it is?
when I have
Yeah.
an internal market
Housing
structure
inflation
happen,
is the one piece
right? If I turn that
that
on,
is kind of dragging a bit.
like a
if I
change
can
of
say.
character or a BOS, either one.
We know that
right?
market rents
and
are
an
doing
imbalance
what we
forms, I
want them
can
to do, which
I
is to
can
be
have the
moving up
idea
at
that
relatively low
this
levels.
might be an
But they're
aggressive
not
move in a
rolling
single
over.
direction.
The leases that are rolling
So
over
when that
are
triggers,
not
now I can wait for a retrace to see
coming
how it
down as much,
reacts to
and
that
OER is
specific
coming
one.
in
But
high.
there you
So,
go. That, you can see how aggressive that move was.
You know, it's been slower than we
And
expected.
then
I
wait to
think
see
we
if it
now
gets any type of
understand that
retrace
it's going to
into
take
any
some
other
time for those lower
imbalance.
market rents to get into this, but
Went
you know,
lower.
the
I was going to
direction
see
of
if there was
travel
a
is clear.
leftover
As
one. There you
long
go.
as
There's another
market
leftover one here.
rents
I mean,
remain,
look. This was
you
into
know,
FOMC, but
relatively low inflation over
leftover
time, that will
imbalance
show up.
into a
Just the time
structure
it's
break
taking now
here, right?
several years.
There's
rather
your
than
alert
just
that
one or
triggered
two
there.
cycles of annual lease
If you
renewals.
would have bought off, I mean, this is
So
FOMC, so it was a little bit of a crazy move, but I mean,
I don't think the outcome is in doubt again.
played
as
really
long
crazy.
as market rents
I'm
remain
missing
under
the
control.
action. I don't.
The outcome is
If
not
you
in
trade
doubt.
news, you're
So
crazy,
I
man.
would say
Might as well just go to the
it's-
casino.
The rest of the portfolio or of the elements that go into core PCE inflation are
The time to
have
start.
behaved pretty
This
well.
one today was right
You know,
when the
they're all-
right when
they
the
all have
minutes
some
dropped.
volatility. We will get down to 2% inflation, I believe, and I believe that ultimately we'll get what we need to get out of the housing services piece too.
Some of your colleagues have expressed concern
I mean,
that
look here.
with starting to cut rates, you could reignite demand
I mean, this
in
is insane.
housing and see prices go up even
Major
more.
gap left behind.
You know, what's the likelihood of that?
Early this morning. Looks
and
like London
how
Open or
would you
whatever.
react to that?
The housing
Major gap
market-
left behind.
It's hard to-
And those line up to
to
me.
game
Change
that out.
character.
The housing market
You also
is
had a
in part
very clean
frozen because of
trend break
locking
there.
with low
Very
rates.
aggressive
People don't wanna
volume.
sell
This thing
their
just
home,
freaking
because they
dumped.
have
Do
a
you
very
wait for
low
a
mortgage to be quite expensive to refinance.
you know
As
retrace?
rates come
There's your
down,
entry.
People will
But that would have
start to
alerted
move
me.
more, and that's
I
probably
don't
beginning to
have.
happen
I don't even
already.
have to
But
worry
remember,
about it.
when that happens,
We
you've
are
got
in a
you've got
recession.
a seller, but you've also got a new buyer.
I
in
think
many
you got
cases.
that
So
wrong.
it's not, you know, obvious how much additional demand.
Maybe
that would make. The real issue with housing
No.
is that we have had and
I mean,
are
here.
on track
Here
to
you go
continue to
again.
have
This was
not enough housing.
yesterday
And
at
so
Open.
It's going to be challenging. It's
Leftover
hard to
imbalance.
find to zone
Alert.
lots that are in places where
Rippy.
people want to live. It's all of the aspects of housing are
Break
are
of structure, leftover
formidable.
imbalance,
And,
alert, rippy. Again, imbalance
you know,
is just
where we
an
end up with
idea
supply,
that
and this
there's
is
a
not
decent
something that the
volatility in
Fed
a single
can-
direction.
can really fix. But I
This
think
one
as we
here I wouldn't
normalize
take
rates, you'll see
because the
housing
move already
market
happened.
normalize. And I mean,
This one here
ultimately,
I would
by
take
getting
because it didn't. It
inflation
broke
broadly
structure to
down,
the
getting
upside. It was
those
holding higher,
rates normalized and getting
higher
housing-
lows there.
housing
Rippy.
cycle normalized. That's the best thing we can do for householders. And then the
This is the
supply
paid
question
rate
will
to
have
get
be
the.
dealt
If you
with
want
by
to
the
get
market and
like
also by government.
these custom alerts like this, like where you can make them.
Hi, Victoria Guido with Politico. Just following up on some of the
I just
labor
realized
market
you guys probably
talk
can't see
earlier,
this.
you know,
Uh,
monetary
it's in the
policy
pre- it's in
operates
the-
with long and variable lags, and I'm wondering how much
premium
you
one.
see being able to
me do this
keep
in
the unemployment rate from
There you go. You guys
raising
can-
too
I
much
keep forgetting the people on,
comes from the fact that you're starting to act
mobile
now,
can't see
and that's
that.
going to give people more room to run versus just the labor market is
That
strong.
you can get all in
And
the
then
smart
also,
money
if I could,
concepts one.
following up on Nick's question.
There you go. Very
Do you
bearish
see today's
structure,
50 basis point move as
pretty much.
partially a response
What
to
do you
the
see
fact that you
here? You
didn't
can.
cut in
That's pretty
July,
much
and that
a
sort of
evening
gets you to the
star,
same
right?
place?
You got a reversal
So you're
pattern
right about
already
lags,
triggering.
but
You
I
want
would- I would
you
just
want
point to the overall economy.
confirmation.
You have an economy
Goodness
that
gracious.
is growing.
You want
at a
confirmation? You
solid
can wait for
pace.
that exact
If you
thing
look at
there. You got a
forecasters
leftover
or talk to
imbalance here.
companies, They'll say
Right.
that they think 2025
Drills back to
should be a
VWAP.
good year too.
This is a 5-minute
So,
too.
There's no sense that the U.S. economy.
This one
basically
here is
fine.
already happened at
If
a
you talk
high,
to
so
market
in my opinion, wouldn't take it, but
participants,
it's still ripped.
business
What
people
happened?
Who are actually out
If you were to
there
go back to this,
doing business.
it actually
So
that
I
leftover
think,
imbalance
you know,
here,
I
right?
think I think our move is
Bounced
timely.
right off of it, right
I
there.
do, and as I said, you can see
then push
our,
higher.
our 50 basis point move as a commitment to
leave this
make
one
sure that
up.
we don't fall behind. So you're really asking about your second question. You're asking about July, and I guess if you ask, you know, if we'd gotten the July report before
if
the
you did,
meeting,
you can,
would we have cut?
you know,
We
threshold
might
these
well
out.
have. We didn't make that decision, but
and the
you
alerts
know,
will
we
change.
might
So
well
this
have.
is
I
a,
think
you know,
that's not, you know,
it's only alerting on
that
very
doesn't,
aggressive moves. In my
really
opinion,
answer
though,
the
it's not.
question that we
An
ask
imbalance
ourselves,
is an
which let's
imbalance.
look, you know, when, at this meeting,
Even
we're
though these
looking
did
back
pretty
to
good.
the
Dang,
July
that one too.
employment report, the August employment report, the two CPI reports, one of which came
Back and forth.
of course, during blackout, and all of the other things that I mentioned.
So
We're
I was
looking at
forming
all
a
of those
double
things,
top.
and we're asking ourselves, what's the policy stance we need to move to? We knew it's clear that we clearly.
Buy back down.
Everyone
Again,
on the committee
I mean,
agreed
I've said this before,
that it's
guys.
time
At
to
the
move.
beginning of the stream, if you weren't here,
It's
also
just
hammer on
how
the
big-
daily.
How fast do you go, and what do you think about the path forward? So this decision we made
Previous
today had
annual
broad support
returns
on the committee, and I've discussed the
on the
path
SP
ahead.
500. Again,
Thank you, Chair Powell.
Last
Elizabeth
one
Schulze
here,
with ABC News. Mortgage rates have already been dropping in anticipation of this announcement. How much more should borrowers expect those rates to
do
drop
this.
over the next year?
Very hard for me to say. That's from our standpoint. I can't really speak to mortgage rates. I will say, you know, that'll depend on how the economy evolves. Our intention, though, is we think that our policy was appropriately restrictive.
last year,
We think that it's time
24%.
to begin the process.
5 years was 15%. 10 years,
recalibrating
15%.
it
Last 20 years,
to a level
11%.
that's more neutral
Again,
rather than restrictive.
on
We expect that
SPY
process
today,
to take some time.
We're sitting
As you
on
can see
this
in the
year.
projections that we released today. And as if
We
things
go to the
work out
weekly,
according to that
you know.
forecast,
You
other rates
look,
in the economy will come
January
down
right
as
here,
well.
first week of
However,
January.
the rate at which those things happen will really depend on how the economy
We're sitting
performs.
right
We
around
can't-
20%.
We can't look a year ahead and know
15%
what
would
the
make more
economy's
sense.
gonna be doing.
You know, 550 settle off. We're about to enter an
Households who
election,
are
right?
frustrated
Let's get something like
that
this.
Home prices have still
Just
stayed so
kinda
high
chillax
as
up
rates
here.
have been high.
If we
What do
go
you
back
say
to
to those
2020
Well,
election,
what I can
obviously
say
we had the
to
craziest bounce back
public is
ever.
that,
But if we go to
we had the highest, we had a burst
2020
of
election,
inflation.
hold on.
Many other countries around
here.
the world had a similar burst of inflation, and when that happens, part of the answer is that we raise
The difference
interest
was
rates
we
in
had
order to cool
COVID.
the economy off in order to reduce
So here you
inflationary
go.
pressures.
Here's your
it's not
February
something that,
dump.
people
2020 was here. This dump down
experience as
over
pleasant,
30%.
But
then close the
at
year
end,
out.
what you get is low inflation restored, price
Here,
stability restored,
15%.
and a good
into the
definition
end of the
price
year.
stability
You can
is
see
that people, when they
November
make
though,
their
with Trump
decisions,
being
they're not
president,
thinking about inflation
getting
anymore.
elected,
That's
closed
where
up
everyone wants to be,
9%.
is back to
But you'll
what's
see
inflation.
here
You
this
know, we just keep it
September,
low, keep it
aka
stable.
Red Timber.
We're
You
restoring
know,
that.
we
So
always have usually a
what
bear
we're going
September.
through
We'll see
now
how the end of this month
really
does.
It restores,
Was
it will
down
benefit
4%.
people
So
over a long period of time.
Wait, sorry.
Price
That
stability
was the wrong
benefits
one.
everybody over a long
This
period of
one
time, just
was
by
down,
virtue of the fact that they don't
closed
have to deal with
4%
inflation.
as well.
So that's what's been going
So
on.
right now,
And
you
I
know,
think we've
it would
made
make
real
more
progress. I
sense
completely-
with
you
its
don't tell
opening
people how to
price
think
to
about the
close
economy,
down.
of course, and of course people
To close
are
down,
experiencing
like,
high prices.
You know,
as opposed to
4%
high
would put us
inflation.
down here at like
And we understand that's
540.
painful.
Like FOMC see, and then in 2 weeks we drop 4%. That could happen. Right? That'd be, and then in November, November we could rip again. Like we could do something like that.
Hi, Chair Powell.
To
Craig
me,
Roth from MarketWatch.com. I was wondering if you could go
to
through.
me,
you
this
said
makes
just
more
at the
sense.
beginning
Something
that,
like this, right?
Coming into the blackout.
Maybe end of the year, close
there
up or
was like
something.
An open thought
That would
of
make more
25 or 50. The Fed could move either 25 or 50.
That is internal structure on the 5-minute. Dotted lines are all internal structure.
When we had those two last speeches by Governor Waller and New York Fed President John Williams, that
where are we bouncing?
We're sort of saying that
where are we
maybe a
bouncing?
gradual approach was
Where's SPY
gonna
bouncing?
Win the day. I mean, I sort of want to ask
High
a
volume
7-part
node.
question
Yeah. Wow.
about this, but
wow, Jacob,
I mean,
it's
could
like
you talk?
magic.
Would you have cut rates by
it's not
50
that
basis points
complicated.
if the market had been pricing in like low odds of a 50-point move like
Where's
they were
the,
last
let's look at
Wednesday,
Bitcoin. I haven't looked at
after
Bitcoin in a
the CPI
minute.
number came out. It was a really
Where are we
small
bouncing? Above the UOP
probability of
and at a high
50-point
volume node
Does
again,
that
and the
play-
overall
play in
sentiment
your
right here is
consideration at all?
bullish.
Just talk a little bit about that.
Ooh,
We're always going to try to
heavy
do
on the bulls. Heavy on the
what we think
bulls.
is the right thing for the economy at that time. That's what we'll do, and that's what we did today.
Simon.
Thank you, Chair Powell. Simon Rabinovich with The Economist. You've mentioned how closely you're watching the labor
All
market.
right, I'm going to be on
You
for
also
about
noted
15
that
more
payroll
minutes, and then I'm
numbers
going to
have been
call
little
it
bit less
a
reliable
day,
lately
guys.
because
Appreciate
of
you
big
tuning
downward
in. But
revisions.
15 more minutes.
Does that
I
put
think
your
we've
focus
pretty much seen what's going to
overwhelmingly on
happen.
the unemployment rate?
We'll be back
And given the S&P projection of 4.4
tomorrow morning.
basically being the peak in the
Tomorrow
cycle,
morning, aka
would going
Thursday
above
morning, we'll be
that
trading some futures,
be the
see
kind
how
of
the
thing that
U.S.
would trigger another
markets
50
do.
basis point cut.
So we will continue to look at that broad array of labor market data, including the payroll numbers. We're not discarding those. I mean, we'll certainly look at those, but we will mentally tend to adjust them.
I don't.
based on the
I had a
TCEW
swing on
adjustment, which you
BIC into
referred
this
to.
week. We closed.
There isn't a bright
yesterday.
line. It will
Today
be,
it's still going. Very
the,
good.
the unemployment rate's very important, of course.
I don't
but
like holding
there isn't a
that FOMC
single
anyway.
statistic
There's
or a
gold.
single bright line.
Gold just got
over which that thing
whoa,
that might move that
demolished.
would dictate one thing or another. We'll
Amazing.
look at each meeting. We'll
Nice
look
little
at-
bounce
at
off
all the data on
there.
inflation, economic activity.
Then a nice little break.
And the labor market, and we'll make decisions about is our policy stance where it needs to be to foster over the medium
What do we see?
term our
Look at
mandate
this.
goals. Yeah, so I can't.
Here's
say
your
we
alert for
have
your.
a bright
Here's
line
your alert right here, a little blue dot there. What was it? It was leaving an imbalance and making a market structure move, right?
From CNN.
It break that previous low, and then we said, hey, when you get that alert right here on candle close, you think, oh right, I'm going to look for a short opportunity. What is the best place to enter a potential short opportunity? That would be off of more than likely that previous gap that it just made. Again, all of that was alerted for me, no problem in the price action concepts indicator. All I had to do was scroll down to the bottom, make a custom alert right here, where when market structure happens and an imbalance happens, aka an FVG happens, I get alerted. Now, let's say I want market structure to happen and an inverse FVG. 'Cause I know a lot of people love trading inverse FVGs.
All have what are called
That could be
independent
something
central
that you
banks.
can
And
set
the
up as
reason
well.
is that
I can go in here
people have
too,
found
and I
over
can even
time
make
that
it where
insulating
I need
the
market
central
structure
bank
to be anything, and then I need
direct control
this
by
to happen
political
after that,
authorities
not at the same time.
avoids,
I need that to happen for the second time.
making monetary policy
We can see
in a
right
way
here.
that favors maybe people who are in office as opposed
Inverse
to
FVG.
people who are not in office. So
Inverse
that-
FVG.
that's
Right
the
there.
idea.
Bam.
Is that and I think the data
there
are
you go.
clear that countries that have independent central banks, they get lower inflation.
more cash on
And
this.
So we're not.
But I just like
we do our
regular.
work to
I just like
to serve all Americans. We're not serving
And there
any
you go
politician,
again.
any political figure,
Move
any
that stop
cause,
loss.
any
Just
issue,
keep moving it
nothing.
until
It's
you
just
hit
maximum
0.
employment and price stability on behalf of all Americans. And that's how the other central banks are set up too. It's a good institutional arrangement, which has been good for the public. And I hope and strongly believe that it will
How is NVIDIA
continue.
What a day for NVIDIA. Leftover
Kyle
imbalance.
Campbell for American Banker. Thanks for taking the questions, Chair Powell.
To the
A
downside.
couple regulatory developments in the past week that I want to ask you about. First, last week, Vice Chair.
So
for
do you
Supervision,
enter on the
Michael
charge?
Barr,
No.
Outlined his views. for
You
the changes
use
to the Basel
like
III
again.
ending.
You want to get early
I'm wondering
indication
if
of the
you
alert,
are
like
in
of a
alignment
potential
with,
setup.
with him on
When
those
this
changes
when that
should
closed
be,
there,
those
I get
have
an alert.
support
Now I come
on
look.
board in a broad
Okay,
way
I'm gonna wait
moving
to see
forward.
this wants to
And
bounce
if you
back
think the
and
other
give me a
agencies are
decent
also
setup.
fully on
Doesn't do
board
it
with
there,
that
so I'm not gonna
approach.
take it.
And then,
But for like gold
yesterday,
here,
other banking regulators.
we got the
Hold the
structure.
second question.
We got the alert triggered. Now I can have enough
give you
time
the second
to
question.
race to my computer
The
and
answer to
grab
your
an
question
entry.
is
Right?
that
This part,
Yes,
if you're
those-
trading
those
anything price
changes
action,
were
in my opinion, you can,
negotiated
if you
between
back
the
test it,
agencies
you
with
could
my
have,
support
you know,
and
because you
with my
can add in
involvement.
sessions and stuff. You could have a custom
the idea that we were
system
going to
that trades on its own. In my
repropose
opinion, I like to manage
the
my own
changes
trades. So
that
I
we-
create an
that
alert
Vice
that's going to
Chair
alert me
Powell talked about.
before a setup,
And then
before
take
like an entry
comment
would
on
occur. So,
So,
like in
yes,
this
that
case,
is,
you know, giving that
you know,
market structure
that's
with the
happening
leftover
with my
imbalance, so that's
support.
what I want to see. So then I can race my computer,
That's
have
not
a few
final
minutes to
proposal, though. You
potentially
understand?
make an
We're putting
entry
them
if
out
I
for
like the
comment.
setup.
We're going to take comment and make appropriate changes.
Sam,
we don't
nah.
have a we don't have
What do you mean,
a
nah?
calendar date for that. And as for the other agencies, you know, the idea is that we're all moving together. We're not moving separately. So that I don't know exactly where that is, but the idea is that we will
Again,
move
guys,
as a
10
group,
minutes, I'll be out.
to put this again out for comment, and then. You know, it'll come. The comments will come back 60 days later, and
Yo,
we'll
Dolphin, we have
dive
a
into
we have a
them,
bunch
and
of
we'll try
videos
to
on the
bring this to
YouTube
a
for
conclusion
how to
sometime in the
use it,
first half of next
how to
year.
use the indicators. Dolphin, also, if you go to the website to LuxAlgo, you go to resources, top right hand corner, you click documents.
What does the Fed have to do to align itself on
You can actually at the top of the
You know,
page
I
here,
would-
you
I
can
would,
say, how do
bounce that
I
question to
use
Vice Chair
order
Barr.
blocks?
It's a good question, but I don't
Chat
have that today.
GPT enabled, brother.
Jennifer for the last question.
There you go. It's going to literally tell you
Chair
exactly
Powell.
how
Jennifer
to use
Schonberger
order
with
blocks.
Yahoo Finance.
And you can ask it
You
about
said earlier
anything.
that
It's
the
going to tell you
decision
what
today
to do.
reflects with appropriate
And pretty soon we're going to even
recalibration
release an
strength in
even
the labor
better
market that can be maintained in
AI
the
thing to
context of
help you
moderate growth.
understand the indicators.
Even though
so
the
get
policy
ready for
statement
that. It's
says
gonna
you
be awesome.
view the risks to inflation and job growth as roughly balanced. Given what you've said, though, today, I'm curious, are you more worried about
He's
the
not.
job market
He's not
and
a phantom.
growth
Nice.
than
Nice,
inflation? Are they not roughly balanced?
No, I think, and we think they are now roughly balanced.
Okay, guys,
So-
10
so if
minutes,
you go back for a
and we'll
long
be
time,
But
the
I
risks for
appreciate you
inflation,
for
we
tuning
had
in like always.
historically
We'll be
tight
back
labor
tomorrow
market,
morning,
historically
10
tight.
Eastern.
There was a severe labor shortage. So
Oh,
very,
bucko.
very hot labor
Give
market,
me
and we had
the-
inflation way
the-
above target. So
Another,
that said to us,
another
concentrate on inflation,
beautiful
concentrate on
idea
inflation, and
here.
we did for a while, and
Okay,
we,
first
and we
off,
kept at that. The
look at
stance
this.
that we put in place 14 months
Look
ago
at the
was a stance that
probability
was
here,
focused
my
on bringing
friends.
down
Look at the
inflation.
probability here.
Part of
First off,
bringing
you
down
take out
inflation,
this
though,
low.
is-
You take
is
out
cooling off
VWAP.
the
You leave a
economy and
leftover
a little bit cooling
imbalance.
off the
You
labor
go
market.
set a new
You now
low.
have
You
the
bounce
cooler
back,
labor market in
reject
part because
VWAP,
of our activity.
reject
So
this
what that
imbalance,
tells you is
and now
it's
let's
time to
see, does
change
this
our
play out
stance.
to the
So we did
downside or
that.
not? It is
The sense of
FOMC.
the
Jerome
change in
can
the
say
stance
something in a
is that
second.
We're recalibrating our policy
But
over
the risk to
time
reward right now is
to
super,
a stance
super
that
clean.
will be more neutral. And today was, I think we made a good,
Let's see.
strong start on
Oh, I
that.
gotta
I think it
message
was
somebody.
the right decision, and I think it should send a signal that that we're committed to coming up with a good outcome here.
Is the economy more
Jerome,
vulnerable
send me
to a
higher.
shock now that could tip it into recession?
I don't think so. I don't. There's. Well,
Yeah, but
let me
even
look
though
at
if
it
you would
this
have
way.
entered right here,
I don't see anything in the economy right now.
You already had 20
that
points.
suggests that the likelihood
That's
of a
crazy,
recession,
actually. 20 points is
sorry, of a
nuts.
downturn is
You just
elevated.
scalp your way to heaven.
Okay, I don't see that. You see growth at a solid rate. You see inflation coming down, and you see a labor market that's still at very solid levels. It's so I don't really see that. No. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Bitcoin dominance has been hitting all-time highs. Look at that. The man is complete. Okay, that might leave us there. We appreciate you, Jerome Powell. Oh, I love you, Jerome. Thank you. Thank you for going crazy. Let's see what this does here. And then we'll call it a stream. It's over. It's over. Bitcoin, real quick, on the 5-minute chart. Again, coming back down. Bitcoin, when it up hit 61,400. I would like it to close over 61 today. That'd be nice. Would you put a stop loss at VWAP? Let me see. Sorry. Let me go back to the NQ. Then there you go. There she goes. Your target would be down here. After that entered, you put your stop right above. So this is where you would put it. Always put your stop right at the. So I'd put your entry. Goodness gracious! And there she goes, right above that candle that made that imbalance. Right? So it'd be like this. So with VWAP lining up there too, it'd be money. Flush VWAP, drop down, bounce right back up. You're starting to show reaction to VWAP. You have an imbalance as well. Usually, I like to see reaction to VWAP first. So if you get any candle, bam, drilled. So there you go. Again, all I did was play the odds. Those were the odds. We just talked about this. Either way, though, watch to see if you get like a candle like this or, sell off like that. Then you can maybe make your entry. But run lows there. Again, you know me, I always look for the lowest open close. Like on any trade that I make, I always look for the lowest open close level, right? Price closed there, price open. This was the lowest one there. That's where I always take profit. You can see we wicked it perfectly, and we're already trying to bounce off of it. But, again, beautiful. Rejection off VWAP, though, I mean, with that imbalance there was key. That was money. Settings for the VWAP, I should just make it normal, to be honest, so you guys don't freak out about my VWAP settings. If you like it, though, like this isn't just normal VWAP, right? You could play that, but I kind of like a little zone there, right? So band multiplier 0.1, and then just fill it. I don't know why this is there. Just band fill 1. I just, nice little filly, like that. And it's kind of cool, right? It's like it looks like an adaptive thing. Either way, though. Again, VWAP is on top of my overall confluence of what's going on. So I need multiple things to tell me, right? We had an imbalance here after a structural move through VWAP, right? We had an imbalance there after a structural move through VWAP. It bounces, comes back to VWAP. What else do we see, though? If I pull the recent swing into that structure shift there, that break of structure, either way, it's a structure break. If I pull those swings, I have a 50% retracement on the Fibonacci as well. So you have this, you have VWAP, you have this imbalance here. Those three things line up. High volume profile, maybe. Yeah. Look, you have two yellow bars sitting here at 19700s. High volume zone. And then also you have an expanded reversal zone down here as well. If you want to, that would be my, target too. Would be somewhere down here where that reversal zone is. That's another thing to target. Order block wise, this bounce off 15-minute order block from the other day or from Wednesday. Makes sense. Actually, I'm starting to like this for an upside move as well. Price is struggling breaking these lows right now. So essentially now watch to see if price takes out VWAP again and then creates another imbalance to the upside for a trade. Right? Watch that. All right, guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about looking at trades tomorrow in the morning, 10 Eastern. I'll see you guys then. Appreciate you tuning in. FOMC, 50 basis points. Not too bad. Again, I think we could chop around for a while into the election. Then maybe have a rally at the end of the year. That is for the U.S. markets. For Bitcoin, again, last thing I'm going to touch on one more time. And again, if you're not following me at Indicators Work, please do. If you're not following the LuxAlgo, Twitter at LuxAlgo, or X account at LuxAlgo, again, there's no reason you shouldn't be because we keep you up to date with everything going on in the market at all times. Last but not least, here. This is what I wanted to say one more time. Where is it? Boom. Remember, last election when Trump got, the last time Trump did get elected in 2020, in September we had a red month. That was also the halving in 2020. We had a 167% move from October to December, the end of the year. And then we had an even bigger move into the new year. Again, all the stars are aligning for that potentially to happen again. We also got a monthly chart potentially bouncing as well. But it's really cool to see that this similar thing might be playing out again. So that's about it for me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream today. I appreciate you nonetheless, guys. Please hit that sub button if you haven't already. Again, here on the NQ is already about to break back through VWAP. See if it does. We'll be back tomorrow. There you go. BK posting the links in the main channel. BK, you got to post them in the other one too. I don't know if they'll work though. But appreciate you, gents. And again, there it goes, breaking back through VWAP. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Wait, real quick. Look at this. See, that's what we just said. Had trouble breaking the lows. Bounce off the 15-minute order block again. You got one of our alerts triggering there. See how it does off VWAP now. Watch that. Back to these highs here. See if that happens. If that happens, tomorrow you'll hear about it from me. All right, guys, appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Happy FOMC 50 basis points. Let's go. We'll be trading 10 a.m.